How dare they? How dare they? So the police officers, the men who tirelessly make sure that everyone is quadruple jabbed, that they have a mask and they keep people safe, the police officers aren't allowed to start in a comic book. How dare they? But all jokes aside, this is why a lot of people in the comic book industry, the gaming industry, they don't really appreciate progressives. Because you have like millions of people wanting to read the comic book. I mean, the clients are there, okay? They want to read it. And the author is there and he wants people to read it. But then you have the moral busybody, the representative of the progressive ideology, who's like, nah, you're not going to read it. Why? Because I think it's offensive, so you shouldn't read it. And people are pissed off, all right? And you would say, well, it's not all progressives. Okay, where are you being outraged? Where's the progressive outraged about this? There isn't, right? So the fact that you have moral busybody in society deciding what comic books I have the right to read pisses me off. So the first thing that I do is like, okay, how can I upset these people? How can I try to upset them as well? It's like, okay, well, these people are very politically engaged. They care a lot about politics. All right. Who do they vote for? The left. Okay, I'm going to vote for the right. What does the right give you? I don't care. I really don't give a shit. Like, the only thing I want is to upset these moral busybodies. I mean, this whole thing where you get like, well, free speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences. Okay, first of all, you would have a point if everyone was on your side. Like you're making the assumption that the overwhelming amount of people have a problem with the police. But that's not the case, all right? Like the thing with the police, it's a class struggle. Very simple, all right? If you live in the city and you're poor, you need police. Simple as. If you live in the city and you're rich, you don't need police. Because you can hire private security. Like if you're like Zuckerberg and you got this mansion and you got a big wall around you, like that BLM Marxist lady has, yeah, she probably doesn't need police. I can understand her very well. I mean, she already has like a private security force. Why would you need police? If you're in a rural area, in the middle of nowhere, next to Courage the Cowardly Dog, yeah, you probably don't need police. But for everyone else, there is no other option. Right? Like you do need the police presence to separate the criminals from the law-abiding citizen because you don't want someone to break into your home. Is that controversial? Is that problematic? Apparently it is. So Mike Baron, an Eisner Award-winning comic. Just so you can understand, right? So we're not talking about a random pleb. We're talking about some of the greatest people in the comic industry are unable to publish their comics now because of moral busybodies. And you're asking, like, why are gamers right-wing? Why do people who like comics are right-wing? Because of this. Like, our top and brightest, our best people in the industry are unable to push what they want, not because they don't have clients, not because people aren't interested in what they have. No, it's because the anointed ones censored them. Like, fuck the anointed ones then. So apparently, he was the longest running writer on The Punisher for Marvel Comics, crafting the popular vigilante stories for over 5 years. But in today's culture, the biggest comic book publisher in the world is trying to soften the Punisher's image while his newest works are being censored on some of the internet biggest forums and social media platforms by thin-skinned, dishonest, anonymous moderators. Yeah, exactly that. I mean, how can I hold the moderator accountable, by the way? You can't, right? Does the moderator care what the public thinks? They don't. Well, why are gamers right-wing? Why are they right-wing? I don't understand. Why are they bigoted? Why are they not? This is why, all right? We want this shit to stop. We don't like it. Let the free market decide. If it's a good comic book, it's going to be purchased. If it's a bad comic book that's offensive, no one is going to buy it. His latest work and the comic that's being censored is called The Thin Blue Line, a 64-page graphic novel whose protagonist is a Hispanic single mother known as Officer Valeria Baca, a well-meaning cop that has to deal with protecting her city's mayor during a harrowing night of mayhem and madness as agent provocateurs exploit the police shooting and start rioting and pillaging her community. Oh, no, you can't do that. We need diversity. We need diversity in comics, but not like that. No, all police officers, they're straight white men, and they're evil. Unless you have a comic book like that, we cannot allow the public to read it. Over the course of the story, she deals with violent gangs, left-wing rioters, right-wing militia. Oh, look, there's politics in it. And corruption at the highest level of governance. Basically, it's a story ripped from today's headlines. Oh, we can't have that. No. Diversity is good, but not like that. No, stop it. When Mike and his team went the traditional route to get the book published, they were met with extreme prejudice and outright obscene rejections from indie publishers and comic book media outlets. So Bannon returned to crowdfunding, but he has experienced success before, notably with his humorous Florida Man comic. The Thin Blue Line creative team launched an Indiegogo campaign, which was boosted by YouTube appearance on CG Kings with other live streams that quickly brought some much-needed attention to the project. But what really elevated the campaign was Bannon's recent appearance on January the 9th when he was interviewed on Fox News. Well, that's too political. Everything is political, but not like that. Don't politicize it like that. Oh my God. And you wanted to sell it to people? Who do you think you are? You need to spread the message. The message is the only thing you're allowed to spread. Following the interview, the Thin Blue Line's fundraiser soared on Indiegogo, and its newly launched Companion campaign on Kickstarter did so well it quickly became the #1 graphic novel on the platform, and remained in that position for several days. In order to take advantage of the publicity and momentum, the creative team began sharing posts on social media and forums linking to the Fox News interview and the book from Law Enforcement Today, Bounding into Comics, Just News, and The Federalist. But remarkably, much like a similar promotional post about his Florida Man graphic novel, which was banned from Reddit. Oh, no. Like, they're dangerous. Heretical literature. You can worship the devil if you read these comics. When the campaign manager cross-posted a link to an article about Thin Blue Line from Geeks and Gamers subreddit, the post was banned by an anonymous moderator. The reasoning, misinformation, and racismus. While it's true that most of the Reddit has become a cesspool of left-wing thought, far left-wing thought, okay? Like, normal leftists don't go on Reddit, I just want to say. And yes, they do exist, the mythical normal leftists. They do exist and they don't go on Reddit. That comic subreddit has over 1.7 million subscribers, biggest comic related on the web. And according to the subreddit's published community guidelines, cross-posting link without comment to Banon's interview about his comic did not break the rule. Well, you don't need to break the rule. You just need to allow the moral busybody to decide what the people are allowed. The moral busybody is like your mommy and daddy. They get to decide. They're like your nanny. You're incapable of reading a comic book, right? You need to be allowed. I am going to upset these people by voting right-wing. All right? As simple as. I don't care anything. Like, I don't care who's the right-winger. I genuinely don't. Does it have an R in front of his name? Perfect. And if I'm asked, like, why did you vote for this? To piss off the Reddit moderators. That's why. Simple as. Like, no other explanation required. There's no other. Like, I feel it's significant. There is nothing I can do to upset the anonymous moderators. You understand this? Like, I feel so insignificant. This is my only way of protesting. It's literally, oh, but V, you're doing, guess what? I don't care. All right? You want me to stop voting, right? Okay. Get these forum moderators to stop censoring. And then I'll vote whatever you want me. You know what? I'll vote to the left. I promise. I'll vote Democrat if you stop censoring my comics. And if you stop censoring my video game. Well, I can't vote Democrat because I'm not in America. But here in Romania, I'll vote for left-wing parties. I'll encourage other people to vote for left-wing parties. Just stop censoring. Stop it. Let me enjoy my entertainment. Is it too much to ask? Like, give me bread and circus. If I have bread and I have circus, I leave you alone. You're taking away my circus. Let me know what you guys think, though, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.